G'day all. Today we're going to be looking at a oil change on a 1955 Speed Twin made by Triumph. So let's go. This is the patient. My 1955 Triumph Speed Twin, which you would have seen on some of my other videos in a ride video. This is a beautiful work of art and a labour of love. Okay. On these bikes, they don't have oil down in here, they have oil in here, in the oil tank, in the oil tank, and that oil lives down in here. There's none in there at the moment because I've just drained it out when I had the brainstorm of doing a video on this. Okay, so here there's a bolt, goes up in here. And as you can see from the base of the nut there, that oil was pretty gluggy and pretty thick. On these engines, this one came before. There's a little trap inside the crankshaft on the later ones, called the sludge trap, which traps all the particles and everything in there that are suspended in the oil and stop them from going round and round the engine. This one doesn't have that. It was before that, so it relies on when the oil's sitting in here, all those particles settle down to the bottom and become a hard mass on the bottom of the tank. So yes, periodically you have to take this tank off, clean it out, get all that sludge out of there. And believe me, there can be quite a lot in there when you when you get to it. It's like a hard silver paste. Almost looks like grinding paste that you grind valves with. Yeah, it's nasty stuff, but it get all locked in there and it's all good. The only filter this bike has is underneath here. There is a strainer filter on the bottom plate, but that's really only designed to catch any bits of chunky stuff, metal or whatever have you. It's not really designed to catch the finer particles. Neither is the filter that's on the other end of this. There's a filter up inside here. It just goes on over the top of that. That's basically really designed to catch bigger particles and stuff like that and stop them from getting in here in the first place. So you've got two security screens there to stop big stuff and sediment settle down for all the little fine stuff. So that's how that system works on this. Oil gauge is always a good thing to have on one of these. It helps you to check your oil pressure inside of here, which is good. To check the oil flow here, there's actually a little hole just in here on that rod, and as the oil pump here pumps away, it sends that up to here and squirts it back into there, so you can watch that squirting away and you know that you've got oil pumping around the system. Down here you've got a little pipe that comes off of this one that swells round and goes up and comes into these, and what that does is divert some of the oil up through here, through the rods that go through the tappet blocks, and spray little bits of oil, well, more weep little bits of oil onto the tappets, and that keeps the top end all pretty much lubricated. It's good to check the flow to those. Sometimes you can crack these nuts and just watch the weeping oil come down the side of these, and you can tell, yeah, that's going okay, that's good. Now when I do an oil change on this, got to get into position. This is the underside sump plate. I will undo one of these and let the oil, any oil that's collected in the sump, drain out as well, because you don't want that mixing with your good stuff you're about to put in. So, yes, most of the time I take this entire plate off and inspect the filter and everything like that, but not this time. It'll take too long. See how a little bit comes out of the sump there. Now there shouldn't be terribly much in here. Should drain for a little bit. and that should be the end of it, so there shouldn't be overly much in there. If there is a lot in there, like a litre or so, then you're looking at what's called wet sumping, where the oil comes out of the tank into the sump but is not being scavenged and pumped back up to the tank. So wet sumping is a bad thing. You don't want that happening at all. I have had it happen on this bike, and I replaced the oil pump immediately, and that resolved that issue. So yeah, here we go. Seems like a lot on the video, but it's not really. It's probably about 200 millilitres or so by the time it finishes. You'll notice there's a bit of oil up under here. It's a Triumph, it's British, they leak oil, hence the tray here when it's parked. My Land Rovers are absolutely the same, they leak like a sieve. So it's very hard to get an oil seal on a British engine. Okay, you can see that's starting to thin out now. That's pretty much it, yeah, and that would have been around about probably 195, 200 millilitres. There it is. So that's that done. I know that bad boy is clear now. Chuck that little sucker back on. Screw him back in. The thing you see here, that's a precious earth magnet, and what that does is pull any metal particles and that down into that plate, and when I check the screen and everything I can see clearly if there's any bad stuff accumulated there. So far, thankfully, not a whole lot, so that's what you want to see. Tighten him up, it's all good, and there's the rare earth magnet, you can see how that works. Okay, that's that bit done. Then all we have to do is put the bolt back on this one. Here it goes. That can come out, that was pretty yucky oil. Put our bolt back in. Screw, 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 screw. Yes, I'm using a butcher tool because I couldn't find the spanner that I usually do this with. Flay me in the comments. Okay, there we go. Alright. Now all I do is get the oil here. Shouldn't need that one, I should go with this one. This one would be easier. These come in handy for this. Now, all I do now is fill it to the line. Actually, no, I could probably do that without that. Just been doing the BMW and I need funnels for the BMW. Got a little ahead of myself there. Here we go, that's much easier. Then I just pour in the new oil. I'm using a 15W40 on this. Starting to come into the colder weather in the mornings here now. Frosts and that are going to start soon. Just go with the 15W40. There we go. That's gotta. So you don't have to panic about how much you're putting in these. You can see it right there. So that's it. She's sitting just there. Nice, beautiful. Okay, now I'll sit that over there. Move these out of the way. Move. So, now for the bit you've all been waiting for. I'll fire her up. We'll see how she goes. Power on. She's in neutral. Fuel on. Tickle. Now there is a fallacy that you have to tickle, tickle, tickle. No, that's not right. This thing just pushes down. It pushes down on the float, which opens the needle. And there's the fuel there. No tickling needed. Only reason you need to tickle is if that float got stuck. Then you can tickle it to try and help tap it free. But that's about all you need to do with that. So there we go. Here we go. Here she goes. Whoop. And there you have it. Quick video on how to do an oil change on a 1955 Triumph Speed Twin. Pertinent points to remember. Check that filter underneath the engine every chance you get. I didn't today because it would take too long, and trying to do that with one hand with the camera in the other just wasn't going to be a thing. So I've checked it here about 3 weeks ago, so I know it was all good. No problem. There we go. So that's it. 1955 Triumph Speed Twin. Happy trails. If you like this, press the like, subscribe, and maybe a comment. I'm not getting any comments on my videos, and I'd like to hear what people have to say. So yeah, leave a comment. Let me know that you're out there and you love me. Okay, thank you. Bye guys.